Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to a complete beginner to a beginner's power Vinyasa flow yoga sequence. The purpose of this class is to introduce a beginner student to Hatha yoga and specifically to power yoga. Today, we're gonna work on flow style movement as well as the basic Hatha yoga poses, as well as we're gonna work on developing the strength needed for performing Chaturanga Dandasana, which is a cornerstone of any power yoga practice. Let's come to the front edge of our mat and bring our feet hip-width apart with the toes pointing straight forward. Feet are parallel to each other and the arches of the feet are lifting the kneecaps up. Feel free to do a few shoulder rolls in either direction, allowing for freedom to occur in your shoulders, chest area, upper back, neck, and let's open the palms of the hands forward, opening the chest, pressing the space between the collarbones open, extending the tailbone down and lengthening through the crown of the head, standing tall. Bring your hands over your heart and focus on your breath. We're gonna take a moment to get grounded and to connect with our breath. Inhale your hands all the way over your head. Drop the shoulders down and slowly begin to fold forward in a forward bend. The complete beginner here is gonna keep their knees bent, coming into a forward bend, and you can wrap your elbows or your wrists around your elbows and just hang heavy here, allowing your upper body to rest on your thighs and you're just hanging. The neck is relaxed and the head is heavy. Breathe into your hamstrings, the back of your legs, and let's bring the hands on the floor. Look ahead of you, flat back, really keeping your back flat. Hands on the shin bones, keeping the back flat. That's the proper technique to use when you're lifting anything. And inhale all the way up to standing, hands over the heart. Big breath in, bring your hands all the way over your head. Exhale, folding forward. Slight bend in the knees, and we're in a forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. Hands on the floor. Take one leg at a time all the way into plank. Here I'm demonstrating a plank done with the knees on the floor. You're still keeping your tailbone slightly extended and pulling your belly in. You should feel a core connection already. Slowly lower onto your belly, hands underneath the shoulders, and lift, cobra pose. Press your toes down into your mat, lengthen the back of your neck. Try not to collapse the back of your neck, try to keep it elongated. And let's sit back in child's pose. Feel free to come back to child's pose anytime you need to take a break. The palms of the hands are facing each other, allowing the sitting bones to come down onto the heels. If your sitting bones are not touching your heels, don't worry. Just sit as far back as it feels comfortable for you. And let's come forward and prepare for Chaturanga. Hands are shoulder width apart. And we're gonna lower down, still on the knees. You're gonna keep a flat back and you're gonna bring your upper arms to parallel to the floor. And push up, do a Chaturanga push-up essentially, and press all the way back into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you're gonna press your tailbone high as you can. You're gonna roll your triceps in towards your ears. You can come onto your tippy toes and press your hips as high as you can. Breathe into your hamstrings and you can walk in place here, side to side. Tuck the shoulder blades back and down into your back. still lifting through your tailbone. And just continue with either walking in place or standing in a still downward facing dog. And you can take a few small steps to come to the front of your mat. Bring your hands on your shin bones, look ahead of you. Exhale, folding. And you're just gonna hang over your thighs one more time, wrapping the wrists around the elbows and allowing your upper body to relax. Here, your spine is getting a much needed break. You're allowing your spine to decompress. And let's bring the hands on the shin bones one more time. Look ahead of you, flat back. Sweep your hands all the way over your head to standing. Bring your hands over your heart in prayer. And let's step the feet hip width apart. Inhale your hands all the way over your head. Exhale, slowly folding forward. Flat back. And we're gonna bring the hands on the shin bones. Inhale, look ahead of you. We're strengthening our back this way. And let's bring the left hand on the floor, bending the left knee, and bring your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. If you need to bend both knees here, feel free to do that. Open the hands away from each other. They're reaching actively away from each other. Drop the shoulders down, widen the back, and really lengthen the space between your right hip and the right rib cage. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, go over to the other side. Changing sides, either bending one knee at a time or both. Both knees can be bent if your hamstrings are very tight. Really try to lengthen and elongate the spine here. Exhale, bring both hands on the floor. And one more time, bring your chest over your thighs. In a soft and gentle forward bend. Let's bring the hands on the floor and slowly step back. Plank. Great. Knees on the floor. Coming into a modified chaturanga. Flat back. Lower down. Plank to chaturanga. And we're going to lower all the way onto our belly. Hands underneath the shoulders. Lengthening the back here. Tuck the tailbone under and come up cobra pose. Keep your elbows bent during all your cobra poses. Moving to a chaturanga, yoga push-up, great, and sit back in child's pose. Turning the palms of the hands towards each other so your hands are resting and your wrists are resting. Really let your upper body be heavy here in child's pose. Allow for complete relaxation in your upper body, neck. And let's come forward into plank and chaturanga one more time. Press up and all the way into downward facing dog. If you feel that you're strong enough to perform chaturanga or plank on your feet and not on your knees, feel free to do that. Otherwise, continue with planks and chaturangas on your knees. Coming onto the tippy toes in downward facing dog, and let's take the right foot between the hands. You can bring your foot with your right hand if you have trouble stepping your foot through. Take as wide as you can stance here and lower the left knee down on the floor. Right knee is over the right ankle here, not over the toes. Coming on into a low lunge, hands on the right thigh over the knee, and optional, you can inhale your hands all the way over your head and exhale them down on the floor. Stepping back and plank on the knees, chaturanga on the knees. Lower down onto your belly, Elbows are tucked into the rib cage. Come up, cobra pose. Exhale, chaturanga on the knees, plank. One more chaturanga and press into downward facing dog. Pull the belly in and up, and let's take the left foot between the hands, assisting with your hand or just stepping it through if you can. Take as wide, stance here should be as wide as you can take. Stance, lunge, and let's bring the hands over the left knee, lowering the right knee on the floor, low lunge, looking ahead of you. Tuck your tailbone under and breathe into the front of your right leg. Inhale your hands all the way over your head. Exhale your hands on the floor. Lift your back knee off the floor. And step it all the way back into plank on the knees. Chaturanga on the knees and lower down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, tuck your toes under, coming into chaturanga. And downward facing dog, drawing the navel in and up. Coming back to your breath. Allowing your breath to deepen. Great, and we're gonna come into a side plank here. Lower your right knee on the floor and extend your left leg, inner edge of the left foot on the floor. Keeping your hips lifted and your obliques lifted here, hold side plank. You can look up or ahead of you. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And let's extend the top arm forward towards the front of our room. Exhale, both hands on the floor, changing sides. Keeping the hips and the obliques lifted. This is great for working on your core, on your obliques, the sides of your body. And coming out of this, plank, chaturanga push-up, chaturanga push-up one more time, sit back, child's pose, let the palms of your hands face each other. Coming back to your calm breath. And let's come back up, coming onto all fours. Hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart, wrists are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. Take your left leg behind you, extending it, and your right arm forward. The elbow to the knee, opposite elbow to knee, and really squeeze the belly in. So you're contracting your core, holding it for a second, extending on an inhalation, and as you exhale again, bring it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it in, pull the belly in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, lengthen. And you can release back down on all fours, and let's switch sides. Right leg, left arm, bring it in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull the belly in. Lengthen, and again contracting, lengthening, contracting, really pressing the toes away from your fingertips. And release. And let's go into a plank. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. Feel free to deepen slightly your cobra, but don't extend your elbows. Keep them bent. And sit back in child's pose. Coming back to your breath, allowing the shoulders to drop and completely relax. Inhale, coming back up. Tuck your toes under and press into downward facing dog. And slowly walk your feet between your hands. Exhale, bow down. Wrap your wrists around your elbows and allow your rib cage to rest on your thighs. Slowly roll up to standing. Inhale your hands out to the sides, all the way over your head. Exhale them over your heart, and let's step the feet about 3 to 4 feet apart. And we're gonna bring the right foot forward, left foot slightly in. Reach with your right hand way ahead of you, lengthening your spine here, and lower your right hand down on your right shin bone. Lift your left arm up all the way towards the ceiling and continue working here on lengthening the spine and opening the left hip. You want to lengthen the left and the right side of your torso here. Slowly come up out of this, switch sides, reach way ahead of you, and lower down onto the other side. Really lifting the arches of the feet here, pressing into the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of the left for balance. Rotating externally the right hip. Spin your right rib cage open. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Slowly come up. And let's face forward one more time. This time we're gonna bend the right knee and take warrior two. The right knee is over the right ankle, pressing into the outer edge of the left foot. Relax your shoulders down. And let's pivot on the heels over, facing the opposite side, the back of our room, taking warrior two with our left leg leading. Make sure that your knee is pointing directly forward here. That your shoulders are relaxed. And slowly come back to center, hands on the hips, and let's fold forward. In a wide-legged forward bend, try to keep your feet here parallel to each other. Press into the inner and outer edges of your feet. Lift the arches of your feet off the floor. You can flex the front of your thighs, your quadriceps, lifting the kneecaps. Or if you feel really tight, you can bend your knees slightly. And let's walk the hands to the front of the mat. And take a lunge on the toes on the left side. Come all the way up into a lunge, right leg leading. Extend the tailbone down here. Press the back heel away from you. Relax your shoulders, holding this high lunge here. And exhale, hands on the floor, stepping back and switching sides. Let's bring the left leg forward. Prepare your feet for a lunge and come up. The back heel is pointing directly up and away from you. Try not to tilt your foot. The palms of the hands are facing each other. Take a nice wide step here so that your left knee is over your ankle and not over your toes. And as you exhale, lower down. Step back, knees on the floor. Chaturanga. Lower down onto your belly, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale your hands all the way over your head, and we're gonna do the swims here, but slowly. Take right arm, left leg off the floor, switch sides. And again, switch and really lift your leg and your arm off the floor using your lower back muscles. And again, switch. Great. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders and push all the way back into child's pose. Great. We're gonna come up and come into a seated pose here. Let's bring the legs in front of us, bending the right knee. Bring the right foot on the floor. Walk your right foot close to you and lift your left arm up. You can grab your right thigh with your left hand and look behind you, twisting. Keep your left foot flexing. Press your left leg down into your mat. Relax your shoulders and widen your back. Inhale, reach over your head. And let's switch sides. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, grab your leg and look behind you, looking over your left shoulder. Keep your spine elongated here, as if you're being pulled up by a string from the crown of your head. Through the crown of your head there is a lift. And great, release. We're gonna go into a butterfly pose. Soles of the feet are together and you can sit, or optional, you can bring your hands one at a time behind you and press gently onto your leg to gently open and deepen the stretch in the adductors. Switching sides. You can roll the flesh out and down over your bone. Great. Slowly release. And we're gonna round the back and slowly lower down, laying on our backs. Let's bring the feet parallel to each other. Toes pointing directly forward. And we're gonna come into bridge. Elbows are on the floor. You can lift your hands so the palms of the hands are facing each other, and lift your body off the floor, just balancing on your feet and on your shoulders, neck, head. Here you're gonna press your hips as high as you can. You can lift your toes off the floor. Knees are over the ankles. And slowly release back down. You can bring your knees into your rib cage, give yourself a hug, taking a little break. And let's bring the right knee on top of the left knee. Bring your knees over across from your body to your left and look over to your right into a supine twist. Inhale, slowly coming back up and changing sides. Bring your left leg over your right leg and twist. Look over to your left. Keep your shoulders on the floor. Relax your breath. Soften your breath. Allow your body to completely relax here. Slowly come back up. And let's hug the knees into the chest one more time. And extend your legs down on the floor. Bring your hands out to the sides. And you can make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. Stay here for as long as you need to. Just staying present and aware of your breath. Namaste.